Okay, guys, let's talk about it. Here we go. Top 10 predictions for the second Trump administration. So I know we've been talking a lot about Trump's recent cabinet appointments, but let's talk about his actual administration and some of the things he might do. And make sure to like and subscribe before you watch this video. So, number 10, I think a lot of his cabinet appointments are going to fail. Will it be a couple? Will it be a decent amount? Because we're already seeing a lot of pushback against them from Republicans as well, which is a major concern for Trump. Matt Gaetz, I'd be stunned if he's confirmed, guys. You look at this, he has massive pushback from many Republican senators. I'd be very stunned if he gets through. Again, he'll appoint another loyalist, but Gaetz probably screwed. Hegseth will probably make it, but there's already a sexual assault allegation against him. Tulsi Gabbard is not well liked by many Republican senators. People like Robert F. Kennedy also, again, take into account, guys, Kennedy, while, again, might be the darling of Trump world, a lot of people in Republican circles, especially the senators, the more establishment types, are not pro-Kennedy. I think 2 to 3 out of 4 of these guys will get confirmed, but I wouldn't be shocked if we see half of them out. But a lot of the other positions, I'm sure they'll get through because they're not too controversial. At least Gaetz especially, I think, is a guy who's definitely not going to make it. But that's number 10. A lot of his cabinet appointments will fail. Number 9, I think we're going to see the rollback of a lot of climate change legislation and climate policies that the Biden administration has been pushing. For example, the Paris Climate Accord, which Trump pulled out in his first term, I think we're going to see that again. I think Trump's going to pull out again. He's made that pretty clear, talking very much about drilling oil. And again, America already is the number one producer of oil in the world, but I think we're just going to see more drilling on a land that's been protected, a lot of rollback of climate protection and legislation. I think that's going to be the number 9, one of the biggest things Trump does in his administration. And one of the reasons why, too, that it's pretty clear this is going to happen, appointing Lee Zeldin to the EPA and the energy secretary, Trump appointed a coal tycoon, basically a billionaire who's pushing fossil fuels. So there's very obvious and clear that there's not going to be a lot of protection for a lot of environmental policy. So that's number 9. Number 8, we're going to see a lot more tax cuts and deregulation. I think we're going to see another tax cut bill for major corporations, and I think we're going to see more deregulations. They've been talking about this. For example, DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency, which we've seen Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, who are now the head of, they've talked about taking out quote-unquote government waste, whatever the hell that means. But we're going to see a lot of deregulation, a lot of hands off from the government. Whether that's good or bad, you can make your own decision, but that is what I think. Number 8. Number 7, let's get to Trump is going to be very unpopular, I think, for maybe 1 to 2 years in. I think a lot of his, again, look at his cabinet. I think a lot of these guys in the short term are going to be popular. Maybe the first few months, it'll be a honeymoon period, but I'm not sure it's sustainable. I think they'll probably, and again, everyone was saying Trump's said he was done, it was over after 2020, and he wins the re-election. It's just how politics works, guys. Things change very quickly. I think the Democrats are going to end up coming back, surging in 2026, is it? And they'll win the House, probably win the Senate. And the last 2 years, Trump will not be able to do much legislatively, which is why it's going to be key for him to get stuff done in his first 2 years in office. But I think Trump will become extremely unpopular in his first 2 years. By the time 2026 elections come, he'll be unpopular due to rhetorical reasons. I think the economy will probably sink, maybe not collapse, but I don't think a lot of his economic policies, especially if he's able to do his tariffs that he's saying will decimate the economy, prices will keep going up. Will he end up doing that? It's unclear. But if he does that, I think it's pretty clear. Look at all the economists. They're saying it's not going to work out. So prices will be higher if this is true. Who knows if he does it, but I think he's going to be unpopular within 2 years. Number 6, probably the biggest one, and one of his biggest policies talking about in the election was his mass deportations. I think there's no question we're going to see the Trump administration do deportations. Will it be the 11 million that he's been talking about or the 20 million he's been talking about? I highly doubt it. I just don't know if that's sustainable or even possible. But we're going to see a lot of people deported. There's no question about that. And that may be another reason why he might not be popular, because I think there's going to be probably a bunch of videos of controversial knock-ins, who knows? But you could just see, you're already predicting now, it's not going to be a good storyline for the Trump administration. But do I think it'll probably go as far as he's saying with the 20 million people? I doubt it. But there will be people deported. There's no questions. How big will it be? That'll be the main question. How many people But that's number 6. Mass deportations on a large scale. There's no question about it. Number 5, I think we're going to see political investigations into his opponents, guys, but massive. I think it'll be directed, like, not even like mask off. People will be investigated in his administration, or he'll investigate Democrats. For example, we see that with his appointment of the Attorney General for Matt Gaetz. I think he's pretty obvious an attack dog, going to be going after the Democrats. He's talked about this in the past. Talked about the corruption, the DOJ, the FBI, the CIA. They're going to be going after a lot of these guys. So, and I think that's going to be a problem, probably another reason why he might not be that popular 2 years in. What will come of it? Will we end up seeing indictments of Biden, for example, or other senior level Democrats? I don't know. It's hard. It's really hard to tell, because it really comes down to whether or not the institutions will be able to stop a lot of this. I don't know. If Matt Gaetz becomes Attorney General of the United States, I think it's possible we see a lot of Democrats indicted, whether there's evidence or not. But I think it's pretty clear it's going to happen. The narrative, based on his cabinet picks, he's going to be doing a lot of investigations into his opponents. He's going in very different from last time. That's number 5. Number 4, I don't know if I agree that we're going to be seeing, peace around the world. I don't think that's going to be accurate at all. I think we're going to see wars continue. Trump's going to continue giving money to Israel. I think it's pretty clear Israel, they're looking at Iran and they're like, okay, we're going after them. I think Israel's going to go after Iran. I'm not sure if it'll be a full-blown war, but it'll be a massive escalation in the region. What happens in Russia, Ukraine, it's possible we see a settlement at some point. I think it's more likely than not during his administration that the war ends. But I don't think that the narrative is going to be, after the 4 years, Trump got world peace. I don't see it. I think wars are going to continue to happen. I think in some cases maybe even escalate across the world. So I don't think that'll be good. Maybe another reason why come 2026 he won't be that popular. That's my prediction. Number 3, again, we talked about it. I think in the past, I think there's going to be very controversial executive actions he'll take. The reason why is because the immunity case, guys, for people who don't know, the Supreme Court issued an immunity case, or an immunity ruling, that basically the president, legal immunity, partial immunity, to be fair, that any action the president takes in office, they're not subject to criminal indictment. If it's an official action, quote unquote. But of course, it's very vague and very broad, so it gives the president a lot of leeway. So he can take a lot of actions, such as, ordering the military to the streets. Who knows? That could be potentially illegal, but it won't matter because it's a quote unquote official action. So I think we're going to see a lot of controversial actions from the Trump administration, possibly early on, that fall under this category. Number 2, I think Trump's continued influence in the party, unless he just becomes extremely unpopular, which I'm not sure it'll be like that bad, but his influence in the party, the Republican Party, will be paramount even after his presidency. I think we're going to see whoever he endorses, for example, for 2028 is almost certainly going to be the nominee. If it's J.D. Vance, who knows? Knowing Trump, he could have a fight with J.D. Vance and that's it. But I think Donald Trump's vice president, if he endorses to J.D. Vance, probably going to be the nominee for 2028, most likely, because of how big his influence is. His daughter might be appointed senator or his daughter-in-law might be the senator of Florida. She's already the head of the RNC. His family, the entire Republican Party apparatus is around Trump now. It literally is Trump. So his influence is paramount, and we're going to see that throughout his entire administration. Number 1, I think, again, this is all paramount, and it's dependent on whether or not the Democrats nominate a left-wing populist and charismatic person, or do they go the route of nominating the status quo, Gavin Newsom, for example. Then the Democrats might lose. But if they go with a left-wing populist, I'm not sure who that is, a charismatic person, because nobody knew Trump was coming on the scene. They need a charismatic person for 2028, and if they nominate one, they'll win the election in 2028, taking back the White House, and there goes Donald Trump. And that's it for the Trump administration. And then who knows what happens after that. But I think the Democrats will probably win in 2028 if they nominate a charismatic populist, per se, person. But if they go status quo, they'll probably lose again. But who knows? A lot of it's depending on the 4 years. But that's what I got for now. Top 10 predictions. Bonus, I'll give a bonus. Trump and Elon Musk, that won't last long. I think you're already seeing, guys, Elon Musk's ego, he's always there. He's always involved with Trump. I could just tell. You could just see Trump's getting already pissed about him already, always being involved. There was a rumor that he met with the Iranian foreign minister the other day. Very strange. I think that'll be that bromance will break up. That's another prediction, maybe within the first 2 years, but that's a bonus. But yeah, those are my top 10 predictions for the upcoming Trump administration. The only thing that's a certainty is it's going to be interesting. And listen, say what you want. These are as interesting times as it gets. So that's what I got. Top 10 predictions for the upcoming Trump administration. Again, make sure to like and subscribe. And any news this week will come out with we'll see. We'll see, guys. Crazy times. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys soon.